Hey guys, listen, welcome into the building. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber and hit that notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are one of my subscribers, welcome back. And don't forget, everybody, hit the like button. Listen, guys, I'm here today with the story's actually a little sad. It's a little sad. It's a little sad because it's the tale of two sisters, okay? Two sisters where you have one where her whole existence, all she was fighting for was the love of her sister and the love of her mother. And then you have another sister that appears and seems to be just as diabolical as her mother, okay? Seems like to be the bad seed, a little demon. And Latasha, although she's like a sheep in what do they call that? A sheep in whatever clothing. I can't think of the terminology right now. But that girl right there, woo-wee. And listen, she had me fooled. Fooled to the point where I'm just like, you know what? Her husband Rocky, he just got ties on her. He's controlling her. But let's be clear, at the end of the day, or maybe the beginning of the day, I think she's just as messy as her husband Rocky, and that's probably why those two connected so quickly and they fell in love and got married. And why do I say that? I say that because Tamika, she dropped the bomb today, honey. She dropped the receipts, okay? And listen, I don't know when this term came up and how it happened, but when somebody said bring the receipts, when that whole trend started, they started a whole movement because Tamika, I seen a lot of people bring what they thought were receipts. A lot of people throughout this reality TV time, okay? But few people really have the receipts, okay? Monique Samuels from the Real Housewives of Potomac, when she came to reunion that time, she had the receipts. This Tamika Scott, these are receipts. This is not play. This is not maybe and you gotta, look between the lines and dig for the facts. No, this girl got the receipts. And Latasha, if this was a courthouse, they would have hit the gavel and said guilty and sent you right off to jail because this is not looking good at all. And matter of fact, Latasha, you're messy. And on top of that, you are not your sister's keeper. This is a whole scenario of sex, lies, videotapes, stolen checks, stolen money, and stolen identity. This situation is a mess. But hands down, if we had to go round one, round two, Tamika, this round goes to you. Matter of fact, you got a TKO. You knocked this thing out the box. I believe you wholeheartedly, 100%. Now, if you go to Tamika's YouTube channel, I'm sure probably all of you seen it already because I'm always late to the party, but I'm at the party, okay? But I'm going to show you bits and pieces of it and tell you my take on it. But overall, what did she say in this video? One, that her sister's lying. Two, that is more than 30K. That's the thing that almost had me fall off my seat. Is more than 30K, okay? Said more than 30K. She was just being kind, nice, and easy on her sister like she always did her whole entire life, okay? But she said, I'm in my 50s and I'm done. Or she might have said almost 50. Either way, she said, I'm done. I'm over it. I wanted love from my mother and my sister, and all they did was trample over me and stomp on me. So guess what? I'm over it. I'm not going to allow that to happen anymore. And you know what, Tamika? Praise the Lord. God bless you. You standing up for yourself. And I'm not mad at you. So what did the key points she said in this video? One, she got Miss Diane in the video. Come on, Miss Diane, Tiny's mom. Okay. Tiny, who ironically is also, her real name is Tamika. So she got a tiny mom, Miss Diane, in there. Miss Diane said, I love all of y'all my babies. And you could tell she really loves all of them. Why? Because she signed all of them up. The royalty checks that they're getting is because of Miss Diane. So bravo, Miss Diane. You a mom. You a mom because you didn't just look out for your daughter. You looked out for all the girls. So for that, Miss Diane, I love you. I appreciate you. And you somebody to look up to. I like you, Miss Diane, a whole lot. Okay, so Miss Diane signed them up for these royalty checks. Matter of fact, she made sure she got everybody's address. She was calling the people, what's your address, what's your social security number, what's your this, what's your that, because I got to sign you up for this stuff, and you're going to be getting some checks. Then when her daughter started getting her big, nice checks, she checked on the other girls. Y'all get your checks? And then Tamika was like, nah, what's going on? I ain't get my checks. So those two, Miss Diane, she got to investigating. So Miss Diane, she's a mama, she's a manager, she's an investigator, a detective. She said, nah, baby girl, you should be getting some checks. So she calls the people up on the phone, and Tamika's on the phone too. And she's like, baby girl didn't get her checks. And they like, hold on, wait a minute. And they did some investigators, sent some paperwork. And they found out that Tamika's sister, Latasha, done said she was Tamika's manager, changed this, showed passport, this, that, and the other, and told the people, send a check to me, and I'll make sure she gets it. So this whole time, y'all had us fooled. That, y'all had some of the people fooled, like, oh no, Rocky is so controlling. He's the one behind all of this. And come to find out, Tasha, you was involved. But you didn't fool me. I didn't think you was involved this deep, but I knew that you knew. And that's dirty. This is your sister. But the other dimes that she dropped in this video is, she said, pretty much my sister done stole the gospel deal from me. Now she's putting her image over my image in some projects and on some pages, okay? It's just, the list goes on and on and on and on. And so the way that she was Latasha trying to shut her sister Tamika up, because Tamika had a sex tape she did when she was younger. And she let her sister Tasha hold it. Then her sister Tasha said they lost it. Lost it out of the safe that only her and her husband Rocky had access to. And I promise you this, I feel like that husband Rocky, he took that sex tape, and I feel like he watched it over and over and over again. Tasha, wake up. Wake up, girl. Because this man that you calling a husband, girl. So let's carry on. She pretty much tells us all of this stuff. But the most important thing that she told us, and I don't like to stop nobody bad, but when somebody evil, whether that evil person is your sister, your mother, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your best friend of 500 years, you cut them off. So now, the best thing Tamika said in this video is, 1, I don't need no apologies from my sister. 2, we torn without her. So when at the end of the day, good will always rise. Give it a moment. Give it a moment, and good will rise to the top. So, Tasha, you got them checks, and they long gone. But now your sister over here winning. She got her spices line. She still would escape. She on the road making her money. And you sitting back looking foolish because you doing a whole gospel album, but you seem to be one of the most evilest people that ever existed. You at the top of the list because you doing all of this nonsense to your sister. Now, let me share a screen and we're going to listen to a little bit of this. Okay, she got me worked up here. And Tasha is not her sister's keeper. You better believe that one right there. And listen, Tamika even said, this is some of the evidence. I ain't giving you it all. This is some of the evidence. Okay, let's hear what she got to say. And listen, guys, go to her channel and like her channel. Okay, go like this channel. I liked it. You see, I subscribed. Okay, this thing is at 50.8K views. Like this thing is no joke here. No joke. All right. Now I'm not going to play it all because it's not fair to her. Go to her channel and watch it if you didn't get to watch it yet. And hit the like button and all that good stuff. Give this sister, her credit. So let's hear a little bit.
Any questions? Please, reporters, please don't DM me. Please, please, please.
Ain't that
I don't
face
want to talk about this
God?
anymore. I don't want to do this. I really, really, truly, in my heart, do not want
She
to
didn't
do
want to
this.
do it, y'all.
I don't have a choice. My sister is online saying that I'm lying. She did a video saying, oh, you know how she lied because I said the things that I said about Candy to protect her. She was.
So there she's talking about how long time ago when she went to the radio station and said Candy was sleeping with Jermaine Dupri and his daddy, and Candy is the reason why the group broke up. So when Latasha did her video to try to say Tamika was lying, she showed the little clip to say, see, she's a liar. And so Tamika pretty much said, listen, I was in my 20s when that happened. I was doing it to protect my sister. And I apologized. Candy forgave me. And I repented for that. So let that go. You're not going to hold that over my head. I'm here today speaking my truth. And the best thing you can ever do when someone's trying to hang something over your head is you tell your own truth. So they lose their power. So Tasha thought she had all the power over Tamika because she was like, I'm going to release the sex tape. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Well, she, Tamika, took back her power by telling her own truth. Yes, I got a sex tape. So what? If you release it, you low because you got nieces. But if that's what you're going to do, go ahead and do it. Okay. She also talked about how somebody anonymous was, threatening them via text. She said, but this is how dumb her sister and her husband is. She said when she did her video, when Tasha did her video against Tamika, she sat in that video and said some of the same wording that she said that the person said in the threatening text. Like, how stupid can you be? Let's continue.
Calling me crying in the phone, talking about a book Jermaine wrote, crying, saying Candy said she broke up the group. So I went to defend my sister and I said a whole bunch of things about Candy. And I apologized. All right. So now she wants to hold that over my head and say that I'm lying about the money that was stolen from me, my royalties that were stolen from me. And she wanted an apology.
So now, I guess I'll just wait on my apology.
Let me tell you something. She's not going to get an apology. And after I finish revealing what I'm about to reveal, I don't want an apology from her because I'm not vain like that. I'm not vain. I don't need an apology. I just need you to go somewhere and repent and ask God to forgive you. And your
She told her to go repent. Now I'm gonna skip to the phone call that her husband did with Tasha K, where he just told on himself. And again, go to Tasha K channel to hear that whole phone call. Let's go jump there.
$30,000?
No, about now the news is Tamika, my sister-in-law, was sending me naked pictures. Todd sucking a tranny's dick, and Tiny in trouble. That's about to be the biggest news today. So, people, that girl you got coming over there with security for what? Like, you, damn, Tasha.
Let me ask you this real
liar.
quick.
He's a devil. He's evil. A lot of stuff has happened over the years where I have protected my sister and her husband because I wanted a family. I didn't want to be an outcast. I didn't want them not to love me anymore. So I took a lot of things
That's
for
deep.
sound exchange.
Well, I signed Escape, every one of them, up for Sound Exchange. And I sent all the paperwork. And Tamika, I did Latasha, everybody. And Tamika told me when we filled out the paperwork, she was living in New York then.
Mhm.
And I still have the paperwork. And I filled it out and I put it, her address was all in New York and everything. Tamika, my Tamika had gotten her checks, and it was a pretty big check then. I'm thinking it was like close to $20,000 the first time. They got a lot of checks though. And Tamika said, I didn't get my checks. And I said, well, you should have. I said, because Tamika's gotten several checks already. And so we called up to Sound Exchange. Me and Tamika was on the line, and we talked to this guy's name was Joe Mo Grady. I think he's passed away, but back then he was the person we talked to. And he talked to Tamika, and she asked him questions about her checks. and he told her that her checks were going to Hampton, Georgia. And so after that, she said, well, I live in New York. How did this happen? And he sent her copies of the checks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
so
he sent copies.
He said something about your sister and Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Bivens, because I really didn't know Rocky's name.
Right, he said Edward Bivens cashed the checks. But how was I supposed to get my money back?
The only way you could get your money back is you had to prosecute him. And you said, I don't want to do that.
Once we did do the investigation, well, they sent information. Someone sent in, which was my sister, and I will be showing that in a second. She changed the contract and put her name on the contract saying that she was my manager. And you're going to see that in a second. And then they put they sent my passport.
Who child? You done changed your thing so you could say that you your sister manager to get this money. And she says in there's more than 30,000. And then she shows some more documents on where they changed things. I'm going to jump to that. Okay.
I will give you evidence. Now, the misconception is the 30,000. It wasn't one check. It was multiple checks. It wasn't just one. So I was very nice. I was being very nice to say that only 30,000 was stolen from me. I was very nice to say only 30,000 was taken from me, stolen from me rather. So, you want your apology? How about I give them proof what you did? Just a little bit, not a lot. I'm not trying to bury you. You just need to stop being out here saying these false things, you and your husband, these threats and everything else. It's not going to work. Oh yeah, one of the threats were that my tape, I have a sex tape that I did. Yes, when I was in.
So she talks about the sex tape, but then she said, the first place, this is a message. Also, we have a video of you having sex with someone in 2016, and you can thank the person that's suing you for that. If you don't, we'll send all info to the media and your Kevin Costa husband. Listen, so I'm wondering if her husband, Tamika's husband, is another race. I never seen him. I don't know. But they would be a messy. These are some of the threats that came from an anonymous person, but pretty much she's saying it came from her sister and her husband. Now I'm going to jump to one more piece and then I'm going to close this thing out.
In my 20s, I did a sex tape. So, I didn't want to take it back to my house. So I gave the tape to my sister and told her to hold it. So, I can watch it every now and then. I just got to be honest with you. I was looking good on the tape. But anyway, I gave it to my sister. So I went back to get it. She said someone stole it out of her safe. So I said, okay, well, who got the safe code? Who got the code to your safe? She said only her and her husband. But somebody stole my tape. Now I'm about to be blackmailed by them. If I don't apologize, they're going to put the tape out. This is what the text says. So, you know what? You're not going to scare me. You got my tape, but you said you didn't have my tape. Now, all of a sudden, you want to extort me and put the tape out? And you're doing a gospel album. Let's talk about that. So, at the beginning of last
I'm going to stop,
my grandmother and
guys.
my mom all saying they wanted me
Let
to
me
do the gospel album.
stop.
So, the management at the time.
I want to stop it because, you can go to her channel. I don't want to do that and show her whole video. But she talks about how her sister gospel deal was not really coordinated by her husband, Rocky. It was already a deal that they were supposed to have together because they promised their grandmother that they would do a gospel, album or project together. Listen, Tasha is a piece of work. Tasha, according to all the receipts that Tamika have, is a liar. Tasha is not her sister's keeper. Tasha is toxic, okay? Toxic Tasha. I think that's what we should call her from now on. And you know what? We can blame the mother, but even when you're raised by, parents that don't know right from wrong, you can still at some point learn it and not do your own sister so dirty. So to me, what we're seeing, the real Tasha, is the core of her, is who she is. And I think that her and her husband Rocky are thick as thieves, and I think they're cut from the same cloth. At first, I was 10 toes down that, he was controlling her. He was the puppet master. He might be controlling her, but I think she loves it. And I think that there's a lot in her that is similar to the diabolical things that is in him, okay? And that's why those two connect. You're not going to convince me to steal from my sister. That's just not going to happen. Not today, not now, not ever, okay? So with that being said, guys, what are your thoughts? This is crazy. This is insane. Tasha is toxic. And Tamika, with these receipts, she did the TKO. She shut this thing down. It's a wrap now. Now, Tasha, unless you can come out with something totally different, which I doubt, because these are some receipts for you, okay? Even Miss Diane coming in and saying she know way back then, way before this came out. She said, and you said you didn't want to prosecute them because they said the only way you can get your money back is to prosecute your sister and her husband. And Tamika said no. She's the real MVP, most valuable player. She's the real MVP in this situation. Tasha, you're toxic, and I'm over you. And you know what? Like I said, the most important thing, they ain't even touring with you no more, girl. They cut you loose. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hit the like button. Chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And I'll see y'all in the next video.